Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's September 9th, 2014. Let's get straight into our news tonight. The image of the military contractor has largely been tarnished by the actions of Blackwater in 2007 when they opened fire on civilians in Baghdad, killing 17. But that hasn't stopped the military-industrial complex from continuing to make money. Obama's ISIS war, profit from military contractors. Earlier this week, Stars and Stripes, the Pentagon-run newspaper and website, posted an article calling for contractors to fight ISIS and provide other services in Iraq. The U.S. Army Contracting Command posted a notice last month seeking contractors willing to work an initial 12-month contract who should be cognizant of the goals of reducing tensions between Arabs and Kurds and Sunnis and Shiites. The Pentagon has converted Iraq, with its violent sectarian rivalries, into a lucrative business opportunity for a burgeoning mercenary and contractor industry that has blossomed in the wake of September 11, 2001. But lucky for these military contractors, they can simply change their name and get back into the game because the military-industrial complex is booming. And speaking of something that goes boom, Obama's reputation. Spokesman for Sotloff family blast Obama, White House using murdered journalists as pawns. Appearing on CNN Monday, a spokesman for the family of murdered U.S. journalist Stephen Sotloff slammed the Obama administration, declaring that both Sotloff and his compatriot journalist James Foley were used and still are being used by the White House to further its agenda in Syria. And here's what this representative had to say.
They've said that their families have been consistently and regularly informed. That is not true. I speak now only from the Sotloff family. I can't speak for the other families. They said that these hostages were moved frequently. We know that for most of the beginning of this part of this year, they were stationary. We know that the intelligence community and the White House are enmeshed in a larger game of bureaucratic infighting, and Jim and Steve are pawns in that game, and that's not fair. And if there continues to be leaks, the Sotloff family will have to speak out to set the record straight.
Report. China moves 12,000 troops to Russian border. The report cites the Russian FSB border service as saying that Beijing began dispatching troops to the border on September 6th, with 12,000 to 15,000 soldiers making the trip backed by heavy artillery. It remains to be seen whether the reported Chinese troop movements are related to large-scale Russian nuclear drills set to take place on the Chinese border later this month. Russia and China have been forging closer links in recent weeks and months, with the two superpowers recently signing a $400 billion deal for Gazprom to supply gas from Russia to China. Last week, NATO also approved a rapid response force of 3,500 troops that would be situated at bases in Poland, Romania, and the Baltic states, in a move that was widely seen as a further aggressive escalation aimed at Moscow. Now, when I talk about these stories about Russia or China, I always have to put the disclaimer on there. I'm not rooting for Russia or for China. I'm just saying that when you send NATO troops in there, it's going to cause a situation of sorts. Just like if anybody tried to bring troops here to the United States, people would be alarmed about that and mobilize their own troops as well. But it's not so much the troops over there, it's the police state at home that has me the most concerned. New police compliance weapon blinds its targets. Shield Defense Systems, LLC, a company based in Reno, Nevada, is currently developing the Zero Retinal Obfuscation gun. According to the firm's website, the weapon obstructs a target's vision temporarily for 10 to 15 minutes. And this is another step in non-lethal compliance, or quote non-lethal compliance, because whether it's tasers or pepper spray or noise cannons like we experienced in Ferguson, Missouri, these things can be really harmful to people. Let's take, for example, pepper spray. So let's say you come in contact, you're the police officer, you come in contact with somebody who has asthma and you hit them with the pepper spray or the tear gas. This could have very serious, if not lethal, effects on this person, even though it's touted as being a non-lethal deterrent. Same thing with tasers. We've seen reports of people being tased for non-compliance. We've even seen people tased for having a seizure. Now, understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the person got tased and then had a seizure. No, they had a seizure to begin with and then got tased for non-compliance. Another situation that happened here in Austin, right outside the city of Austin in Bastrop, a young man broke up a fight and then got tased for his efforts, fell down, busted his head open, now has permanent brain damage. They didn't kill him, so I guess it was non-lethal compliance, but yes, this had serious health effects on this young man, and they need to have the proper training for all of these armaments, from pepper spray to nightsticks to tasers to whatever else, to make sure these things do not have a permanent, lasting impact or damage on the people that they're used against. And something that's damaging the Second Amendment, Facebook bans gun owners, allows kitten torture video. Recently, a video was posted on Facebook showing two men lighting a helpless kitten in a bucket on fire. But after multiple users flagged the video, Facebook told them it doesn't violate our community standards. A few days ago, a gun rights activist, Jerry Emery, was banned from Facebook after sharing an article explaining the ways in which Connecticut's gun ban is worse than Hitler's gun ban. Facebook said Emery's post, which included an image stating that gun control helped make the Holocaust possible, doesn't follow Facebook community standards. And it's nothing new about Facebook. We all know their, censorship, selective enforcement, and all that jazz. And yes, it is their site. They can do what they want, but they promote it as a public commons. They often censor our videos here at INFOWARS. We have some, I guess more sensational videos like Joe Biggs crossing the border with a dummy severed head, and they banned that video. But we also have videos that are very tame that Facebook says, no, we don't want anything to do with that. So, it's Facebook, they do what they want to do. I try not to be too engaged in it. I do have a Facebook account that I rarely use. To me, Facebook's just pretty much a big Rolodex at this point. If I haven't talked to somebody in a couple of years, I may go ask for the phone number and give them a call. But that's about it, my extent of activity on Facebook. Because I always try to keep my online activities, to a minimum. I don't like having this digital fingerprint, so to speak. And now you can get around this thing because now you have the technology to block things like Google Glass and also drones from using your Wi-Fi apparatus. And this is a technology brought to you by Cyborg Unplug. It's billed as a wireless anti-surveillance system. Unplug is essentially a portable router that can detect drones, surveillance cameras, and mobile tech like Google Glass trying to access your Wi-Fi signal and then boot them off of it, which is great because you may have a coffee house or some other establishment that has Wi-Fi capabilities, and you say, hey, I don't want all these glass holes in here, so they try to connect with the Google Glass, and then you kick them off of it. And now something that just, kicked me into, I guess, a tizzy, so to speak, made me kind of laugh and think about the state of our country. Apple Pay, you can give the finger to Apple now. Users can make purchases with a simple touch of a finger. Because you remember with the last iPhone, they got you used to the notion of using your fingerprint to unlock the phone. Now they're saying you can pay with the touch of a finger. The new feature allows special tokens to be used for purchases after a credit card has been securely added to the phone. According to Apple, actual credit card numbers are not stored on the device itself. Now, we're in a world, just recently we've seen the big celebrity hacking scandal. We've seen other things happen with these phones and these technologies as well. Last week I talked to a gentleman, a security expert with cell phones, and he was telling me something that we already know here at INFOWARS, but he just reiterated that people can listen to your cell phone conversations in real time. And I say, sir, what you just told me most people consider to be a conspiracy theory. He said, oh no, this is not a theory, conspiracy, or otherwise. This is real factual information. He said, with the proper technology, I can listen to your conversations in real time. With the proper technology, they can hack into the iCloud and steal all your personal data and information. So you got to be careful when you use any of these things. But if you're going to get online and you have to do it, I suggest you go to prisonplanet.tv and get yourself a 15-day free trial. You can get the Alex Jones Show, the nightly news, the special reports, the rants, and so much more at prisonplanet.tv. Now stay tuned because after this break, we'll have a special report from John Bound detailing new information on the Ebola outbreak, and I'll have a new report detailing things that are too Napoleon Dynamite for even the real world. And finally, one of our producers, Buckley Hammond, has new reports about surveillance technologies and statues. Stay tuned. This is the INFOWARS Nightly News.
Celebrate the spirit of freedom and liberty upon which our nation was founded at InfoWarsShop.com. Molon Lave is ancient Greek for come and take it. This popular design combines both classic Greek Spartan imagery with modern M16 assault rifles. Now available in women's tees and proudly made in the USA. Celebrate the spirit of 1776 with the George Washington brass belt buckle or this incredibly sharp-looking 1776 hat. Badass. And be sure to check out the new arrivals at InfoWars Life, where you can prepare your body to perform at peak levels with Survival Shield Nascent Iodine, Super Male Vitality, and Fluoride Shield. And wake up, America. Immune Support Blend is the healthy choice for the gourmet coffee lover. So get incredibly high-quality, freedom-based products and help fund the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive INFOWARS Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalist by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the info war at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
The World Health Organization, the very same organization that wants to impose a global consumer tax on everything from internet use to your bank account to raise money for its drug research in the developing world, is reporting total Ebola-fueled chaos in West Africa. Scientists have discovered that this new unique strain of Ebola may have originated during a funeral for a traditional healer in Sierra Leone, where 2 strains of Ebola may have coincided. Further research has traced the disease down to a 2-year-old boy that contracted the virus from a wild animal. The pandemic is ravaging Liberia the hardest, where entire families are packing themselves into taxis in a futile attempt to find Ebola care. The Ebola-laden taxis will only add fuel to the fire as they are not disinfected, and beds are in short supply to treat this contagion. Nearly 40% of new cases have occurred in the past 3 weeks. According to the World Health Organization, 3,600 have been infected with Ebola, 2,000 have died, and upwards of 20,000 will become victims of the outbreak before it's all over. But those numbers have been disputed by locals in West Africa for months. Last month, Dr. Gottlieb, former Director of Medical Policy Development for the Food and Drug Administration, asserted that Ebola is likely to arrive in the U.S., and that if it does, the CDC will invoke powers to hold a healthy person against their will. Dr. Gottlieb also points at an executive order passed by Obama on July 31st, which allows for the detention of Americans who merely display signs of any respiratory illness. We are already seeing a widespread respiratory mystery illness among children in the United States. It's only a matter of time. John Bound for InfoWars.com.
Well, have you talked to the school nurse?
No, she doesn't know anything. Will you just come get me?
No.
Well, will you do me a favor then?
What?
Can you bring me my chapstick?
No, Napoleon.
But my lips hurt real bad.
Just borrow some from the school nurse. I know she has like 5 sticks in her drawer.
I'm not gonna use hers, you sicko.
See ya.
Ugh. Idiot.
As bizarre as that scene was, a similar event has now actually taken place. In Virginia, an 11-year-old was told that she couldn't have chapstick without a doctor's note. And even if she did produce the prescription, the nurse would have to apply it for her. It seems that zero tolerance also applies to common sense. And let us not forget the case of the infamous Pop-Tart gun, where a boy in Maryland was suspended after eating his pastry the wrong way. A school staffer claims that the boy used the gun to imitate a gun sound. And so what if he did? But there is hope, though. 6th graders in Arkansas were given the task of deciding which of our God-given rights the government should allow us to have. So if I lose my right to bear arms, hopefully I'll gain my right to bear lip balm. You can find more reports at InfoWars.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. Today I'd like to talk about the war on women. You've experienced and heard about the benefits of super male vitality. Now, the new formula has arrived. Introducing the new Super Female Vitality. I have specifically designed this formula to help the body naturally regulate itself without the use of artificial hormones. Key ingredients chosen from the highest quality sources. Each of these ingredients works synergistically with the female